I gotta say, staying in hostels was probably one of the best decisions we made on the trip we took to Europe. So, this is what I want to talk about today. Not necessarily about my trip to Europe, but my experiences in the hostels that we stayed and how this changed completely the point of view that I used to have about hostels. It was really surprising. It was, like I said, one of the best decisions we made. And this is my attempt to convince you to try a hostel the next time you travel, at least abroad. Because I know there are hostels in Brazil and gringos, tourists, stay in hostels here, but I'm not sure I would because I'm a Brazilian and I can pay for a hotel, no problem. But abroad in other countries, a hostel is probably the best option financially, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's also a good option in many other aspects. So, let's talk about it. Welcome to this episode, desse podcast que a gente usa para você manter o seu inglês em dia, tá sempre alimentando o seu inglês. E aqui a gente fala de temas aleatórios, mas em inglês, para você aprender um vocabulário novo. Usa a transcrição do Spotify porque ele entende bem, ele pega bem o que eu falo. Então as palavras saem muito claramente na transcrição e você consegue encontrar palavras novas e pesquisar e perguntar também nos comentários se tem algo que você queira entender um pouco melhor, vocabulário novo. Eu tento sempre estar explicando. Eu falo em português às vezes para explicar coisas específicas, mas a ideia é que você use esse podcast para expandir seu vocabulário. Toda quarta-feira, 6 da manhã, estamos aqui. Os últimos episódios foram sobre a minha viagem. E esse vai ser um pouco também, né? Porque eu vou estar contando uma coisa que eu fiz lá. Mas eu juro que eu falo de outras coisas aqui, tá, gente? É porque tem muita coisa que eu quero falar. E porque também tem coisas que as pessoas pediram pra eu falar. Então eu estou tentando checar todas essas caixinhas. Mas o assunto de hoje é bem interessante. But yeah, welcome to Wave. And I hope you're interested also in seeing the other things we have for your English, like a newsletter, like a community, our content on Instagram, and many more. I hope you like it, and let's go. I took notes of some aspects that I thought about the hostels we stayed in. And let me tell you, I used to have a very different opinion about hostels. I thought when we were traveling before when we were planning the trip, I thought it was gonna be a terrible experience. I was really scared that it was gonna be uncomfortable, that we wouldn't have good nights of sleep. I was afraid that it would be a bad decision, but it was almost like the only decision we could make because Airbnbs and hotels weren't really an option, and I'm also gonna talk about this, but I used to think that it was for crazy people, people who were like backpackers. The type of person that you imagine a backpacker is, those people who travel only with a backpack and they get themselves into crazy situations. This is the type of people that I thought stayed in hostels. And after I went there and I had all these experiences because we stayed in 7 hostels, I've changed my opinion completely, and I want to convince you to change yours too. But first, I want to know, let me know in the comments, do you have this first opinion that I had about hostels too? Or have you had this experience and you think it's totally normal and you know how good it is? Because I don't know, I grew up in a circle, like I've never seen I didn't have friends or family that talked about this. So I only had the point of view that I saw on the internet, right? So I'm curious if this was just me or if you know how good hostels are and you never had this opinion. I'm curious. But let me tell you why we chose hostels and uh things to consider when you travel abroad too. First of all, price. In Europe, hotels are almost impossible. Like, I would only book a hotel if I was in a romantic trip, like a honeymoon trip. Okay, maybe I would consider a hotel because in this case it makes sense. But if you're traveling solo or with friends or it's just a regular trip with your partner, I would choose hostels. And even if you want a private bedroom, because hostels are hotels that you share bedrooms with other people, right? And if you think like, oh no, I want a private bedroom only for me and my partner, you can have this in hostels, okay? Like there is this option of private bedrooms in many hostels, so that makes it a better option than hotels, unless you want to have a fancy experience, right? But let me tell you, there is an option to have a private bedroom in a hostel, and I still think a hostel is a better option than hotels, and I'm gonna tell you why in this episode. Not only price. Oh, okay. So hotels more expensive. Airbnbs was also an option, right? Usually people stay in Airbnbs too. But we were traveling. We were a group of three women. It was our first time traveling abroad to another country. And we are young looking. Even though we are in our 30s, we look a little bit young. We look a little bit stupid. Like even if we are Brazilians, because Brazilians are considered a little bit crazy in other countries, I didn't feel safe at all staying in Airbnbs. And let me tell you why. In Europe, the buildings are very old, very old. Europe is very old. And there are some buildings, some Airbnbs with some crazy stories. Like I always see videos and stories of people who stayed in Airbnbs and they had like a door that didn't open, or a door that was locked, or a door that led you to a basement, like porão, or an attic, like sótão, or a door that led you to tunnels because they are old buildings, like think about it. Like these buildings were designed for earthquakes, like terremotos or the war, right? And imagine you go to an Airbnb and then you find out that there's a door that takes you to tunnels. I've seen Airbnbs with doors that take you to the street, and I don't know, it feels weird to stay in old buildings because you never know. First of all, if the host is reliable, host is the owner of the Airbnb, right? You don't know if they are reliable, if you can trust them. You don't know if there's someone in this basement or this attic, like porão ou no sótão. You don't know. I've seen many TikToks of people like filming their bedrooms and they can hear some strange noise, or I don't know, it feels very creepy for me. Even if they are like fake stories, I've seen a lot of them. I don't think all of them are fake. And again, we were a group of three tourists, three female tourists. So imagine that. Like, I think it's dangerous. I think with Airbnbs, the host has the key. So imagine you are staying in a place that the owner, that could be an old man or a dangerous man, has the key to the apartment that you're staying. So I don't know. Maybe he could go in the middle of the night and there are three alone women there. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I did not feel safe in Airbnbs at all. And if you think this is silly, like, oh, I am worrying too much, you are probably a man. Anyways, we decided that hostels were a better option. And something that we've realized when we were booking the hostels is that they have perfect location. So an Airbnb won't necessarily have a good location because it's somebody's house, it's somebody's apartment. So they don't necessarily stay. Sorry, I made a terrible mistake in English now. They are not necessarily in good neighborhoods, right? Because it's a home that they turned into an Airbnb. So they could be in strange, dark, empty streets, neighborhoods that aren't accessible, like with transportation. And with hostels, they are usually in great locations near the metro stations, near restaurants and drugstores. The location of a lot of them was perfect. I'm gonna talk about it. And like it's so easy to do everything from the hostel, you know? And also there is a 24-hour reception. So this made a lot of them have a 24-hour reception. And even if they don't, they have systems that make the hostel safer, like cameras and you know, like the hostels, I felt very safe in these hostels when it comes to security, to like you could go out and come back really late and you don't feel like it's dangerous. You feel safe because they are in great locations. They are in usually busy streets. They are locked or they have a reception. You know, like it changes everything. It affected my experience a lot because as a woman, I am always scared about this stuff. I love this. The accessibility to the metro, to do everything. Like, there's a story. I don't know if this story was on a podcast about a couple that stayed in an Airbnb in Italy, and the guy fell in the shower. Ele caiu. He fell in the shower, and I think he broke his arm. I don't know. And then his wife was trying to get help. It was like a desperating situation. And the host of the Airbnb didn't help them. And the Airbnb was like an apartment. And to get into the apartment, you had to go up many flights of stairs, you know, like muitos lances de escada to go to the apartment. So it wasn't accessible at all. Imagine booking an Airbnb, and when you get there, you have to go flights and flights and flights of stairs with luggage, with suitcases, with backpacks, heavy stuff. So I like the hostels because they usually have elevators. They are very accessible when it comes to taking your luggage, you know? And I just thought it was an easy, simple option. It wasn't stressful at all. This idea of checking in and going to our bedrooms, you know? It's very organized. It's like a hotel. It's basically a hotel that you share rooms, literally. And also they have some very good amenities. Amenities are things that aren't essential, but they improve your experience a lot. This is called amenities. The amenities at hostels are really good because they usually have laundry room. We stayed there for 20 days, so we had to do laundry. We had to wash some clothes, and hostels pretty much all of them had laundry rooms. They have a kitchen, they have a fridge that you can share, they have coffee machines, vending machines, like aquelas máquinas de snack, vending machines. They had bars, they had happy hour, events. So it in general, it's a nice experience and they offer more stuff than just bedrooms, you know? So I will tell you about each hostel that we stayed and good and bad things about it. And while I'm describing them, I will give you some tips to think about next time you are traveling and if you are booking a hostel, okay? Things you should consider and why you should consider hostels for your next trip to another country. You know, I'm not sure. I don't know about the experience in hostels in Brazil and how to choose well. So I'm going to tell you about our experiences city by city. So in Madrid, the hostel was perfect. The location was perfect. Literally in a square, like a praça. And around it, there was a theater, a movie theater, bars, restaurants, a market, a food market. Literally, the touristic spots were there, the stores were there, like everything was nearby. The location was perfect. So the first thing you should look when you are booking a hostel is the location, because even if it's not in a perfect touristic location, we were lucky with Madrid's hostel because Madrid is small and the location was amazing. We didn't need to take the metro anywhere, uh, only to one of the tourist attractions, but the Real Madrid Stadium. But around the hostels, we had everything. The hostel, we had everything we need. So you could have that, or you could stay in another neighborhood that it's not like central, like this one was, but close to the metro station. A lot of them in the description, they will tell you, oh, it's 2 minutes from a metro station. So you already know that it's easy to walk, easy to go to the station, and very close, you know? So pay attention to that. Don't underestimate the importance of good location. Não subestime a importância de uma boa localização. It's probably the number one thing you should consider in a hostel, in a hotel, and Airbnb. Location, seriously, because if you want to go out late at night or if you need to wake up early, location is everything. So be careful with that. The hostel in Madrid had very nice beds. I loved it. Was the first experience and I already loved it because we had bunk beds. Bunk beds são beliches. We had bunk beds. It was a good number of beds, so we were six girls in a bedroom. It wasn't a lot because it was the three of us. No, 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 eight girls, eight beds. It was the three of us and five other girls. And these bunk beds, they had curtains, like cortinas. So this is the next tip that I have for you. If you're looking for a hostel, make sure they have curtains. It's not essential, like, oh my God, you need to have a curtain. No, not necessarily, but it's good because you can have some privacy. So a lot of most hostels will have curtains on their beds. So it's really good because you can close the curtain and nobody will see you sleeping, changing clothes. I really liked the privacy. The bathroom, I liked the structure of the bathrooms because we got a private bathroom in a private room. Like only the people in that room could use the bathroom. There are options. Sometimes when you go and book a hostel, you will see the options. Room and room with a private bathroom. Choose this one if it's something important for you. I really liked staying in bedrooms with private bathrooms. Only one experience was different, and I'm gonna talk about it in Rome. And it was good because it was only eight girls using it, and it was one door for the toilet and one door for the shower. So different people could be using them at the same time. There was a big mirror, two sinks. So it was great. We chose also, this is another tip, when you are booking your hostel, make sure you pay attention if it's a mixed dorm or if it's a girls only, women only, female dorm. Okay. Again, most of our hostels were female only, only girls. Only one was mixed, and I'm gonna tell you about it in Rome too. So that made it even more comfortable because we were only sharing with girls, so that was good. And the hostel in Madrid also had a bar area. They had happy hour, they had drinks, they had music, some games. They had vending machines, aquelas máquinas de snack. This is also really good because like if you get hungry, you can go to the vending machines. Not all of them have, but I thought it was really good to have like, oh, I didn't have time to eat when I was out. Or the food was expensive. You will find something on the hostel. Sometimes we got to the hostel early, like 9 p.m. And then it was 11 and we were already hungry again. So it's good to have a vending machine. You could also buy water. But this hostel was my favorite in this aspect because there was a water fountain, like bebedouro, for free. So you could just refill your bottle and you didn't need to buy any water. That was great. Great. There was a shared fridge. Everybody could use this fridge. They had events that the hostel planned. So it's a really nice opportunity to meet other people too. And this is my next tip. I think you should choose a hostel because in hostels you have experiences that hotels don't give you, much less Airbnbs. Because in hostels you will be you will be living with people from many different countries. This is so interesting because you can make friends. You can just talk to people and be curious and participate in these events so you can get to know new people. I don't think a hotel gives you this opportunity, and hostels, they encourage people to engage with each other. They encourage these interactions between people. People are friendly. They ask you where you're from. Then they tell you stories and you can share experiences about the country. This part was one of my favorites too. I am not a very open person. Like I won't start a conversation out of nowhere. But when someone started a conversation with me, I was always really like interested in keep in talking, and telling them about our trip and asking them questions. And we met a lot of people. We even made like a Brazilian friend because Brazilians usually make friends with other Brazilians. I'm sorry. But we talked to a girl from Vietnam, a girl from Malaysia, a girl from Norway, Noruega. Like you have this opportunity, a Colombian girl too. Like you have this opportunity to talk to many people. I wish I was more friendly, but I will work on this because next time I want to talk to even more people. But it's really nice to have this opportunity to follow people on Instagram and follow their lives. I still talk to this girl from Norway. She's so nice and she told us her whole story. It was really interesting to have these conversations, and I think only a hostel will provide you with that. And when you are traveling as a couple, if it's a romantic trip or if it's a couple trip, you will miss these opportunities if you stay in a hotel, if you stay in an Airbnb, because even when you're traveling as a couple, like it's so nice to meet other people. I think the hostel will provide you that experience, especially if you're traveling with friends. So keep that in mind because one of the most interesting things about traveling abroad to another country is meeting new people, is like talking to people and understanding how they live. And I loved this about hostels. Um, yeah, in general, the Madrid one, I don't think I have any bad things to talk about it. Only like we had one little problem of two girls that arrived really late and they made noise. But here's another tip. The hostels have silent time, like a time that everybody has to keep quiet, to keep low. Uh, but like if you stay in a hostel, this is something that you should understand. You are staying with six other people, eight other people. Like, a lot of people in one bedroom, people will make noise and you have to be considerate about it. Of course, nobody's gonna do anything crazy, and if they do, they are wrong. But in general, like you have to be tolerant for that. Because yeah, you chose to stay in a hostel, so be okay with this because people will go out. They will come late. They will come home late. So just be a little okay with about it, and you'll be fine. And bring earplugs. If you have a problem with noise, bring earplugs like tampões de ouvido, right? Let's talk to you about Barcelona's hostel. Great location, great street. I love the neighborhood. Near the metro station, near a lot of restaurants and the laundry rooms. The there was a vintage decor. The decoration was very vintage, very classic, so beautiful, so cute. I showed it on our stories. The common area was so beautiful, so comfy, very vintage. I loved it. Good music playing. Um, I loved the aspect of the hostel in general, the great location, just terrible bathroom organization. So, this is another tip. When you are booking the hostel, pay attention to the type of bathroom. Some bathrooms, this one was a private bathroom, so it was inside the bedroom. Only the girls there could use it. But still, it was one bedroom. And inside the bedroom, there was a door for the toilet and a door for the shower. And you could be using the toilet and someone right next to you taking a shower. It was a little weird. And then another person in the same bathroom brushing their teeth. Like it was one bathroom that should be individual, but then they just put partitions between the shower and the toilet. So it was a little uncomfortable. And a terrible decision that we made was staying in a bedroom with 10 beds, 12 beds, actually. I think there were 12 beds in this bedroom. It's a lot. So this is my next tip for you. In my opinion, 8 beds is a great number. No more than that. 6 beds is perfect. Okay, this is my tip. 10 beds and 12 beds, I think it's too much. Too many people to use the bathroom. Like, terrible. Too much noise. And like I told you, you can get private rooms. Okay, so if you're going in a group of three, four people, get a room for yourselves. It's perfect this way. But again, I like the idea of sharing with other people so you can meet new people. And if you're a couple, just choose a private bedroom inside a hostel. It's gonna be cheaper. Okay. We had some experience in this one. We had a bad smelling roommate. She smelled so bad. She was very inconvenient. Like, I was ready to go to the shower, and she literally crossed me and went before me. When I was walking to the shower, she made sure that she was gonna run and arrive in the shower faster. It was the same girl that smelled really, really bad. Oh my God. Yes, some people smell really bad there. So we had this bad experience, but in general, I liked this hostel. We made some friends, like it was super nice, super nice. Now in Rome is a very expensive city, so we had to save a little money and choose not the best option. So the location wasn't so good because the street was a little dark, a little weird. But nearby, there were restaurants. The metro station was really close. It was like 5 minute walking. A lot of restaurants, a lot of convenient, like a lot of 7-Eleven. It's not 7-Eleven. Stores that you could get water and other stuff. Pizza places. Uh, so it was good. Just the street was a little weird, a little strange. The bathrooms were good. This one had a different structure. We didn't get private bathrooms. So it was a bathroom that the whole hostel shared together. The whole floor, aquele andar, like the first floor, the second floor, the people on that floor shared the same three bathrooms. It was three bathrooms for the whole floor, but the bathrooms were individual. So you closed the door and it was only you there. So this was nice. Even though we didn't have a private bathroom, even though we shared with the whole floor, when you get inside the bathroom, when you got inside, it was only for you. It was private. So it was a good experience. I liked this idea too. So this is my next tip. Pay attention to the type of bathroom there is in the hostel. And because sometimes it's a bathroom like a gym, like stalls, as cabines. Sometimes it's a bathroom with many stalls. And maybe you're not comfortable with that. I don't know. Check the bathroom before you book it. Um, the bedrooms were very similar to hotel bedrooms. There weren't bunk beds. Remember, beliches. In Barcelona, there were bunk beds. In Rome, it wasn't. It was like a hotel room, regular beds. And we didn't pay attention. Or maybe we wanted to save money. I don't remember. But there wasn't AC, ar condicionado. And Rome was hot as hell. But okay, we survived. Pay attention to that too, okay? If there is AC, make sure you choose one with AC or one with heating, aquecedor, if you're going in a cold season. Uh, the building was very old. The elevator was terrible. There wasn't any vending machines, a laundry room. The structure of the hostel was terrible. The elevator was scary. But it was the option we had, because it was more affordable. Like the price was okay. And the good thing is there were only five beds. And the second night we were completely alone because the other two people checked out. So it was just the three of us. So this was nice. And yeah, like in general, it was okay. The bathrooms were the best thing about it because you could use the bathroom in peace and nobody could hear or see anything. Oh, and also because Rome is very expensive, we got a mixed bedroom. So there was a man with us. Yes, but it was only for the first night and we didn't even see him. Like we barely saw him. Okay, next, Sorrento. The location was good, but I wish we had stayed downtown in the middle of the touristic spots. I wish we had paid attention to this, but the location was great, near the station. The structure was great. I loved the structure. There was a whole cafeteria, an open area that you could have your breakfast. Like it was really big. It felt like a hotel. Um, Breakfast was included. So this is another tip. You can pay attention to that because sometimes it's better to get a hostel with breakfast so that you can eat something and then go out for the rest of the day. It could be an option, but This was the only one that had breakfast, and the Madrid one had paid breakfast. You could pay €8 and eat anything you wanted. So the Sorrento one had breakfast included, a nice space, nice structure. It was great. It really looked like a hotel. And the bedroom had too many beds. I think it was 10 beds or 12 beds. But it wasn't a problem for me because the room was large. It was very big. There were bunk beds, beliches. There weren't curtains. Okay, so we didn't have curtains to have some privacy. But again, it wasn't a problem for me. I don't know. I liked this bedroom. I felt comfortable. Even though it was a lot of beds, a lot of girls, and no curtains, I still liked it. It had a feeling of like, it felt like when you go to your friend's beach house. This is what it felt like. Everybody wearing bikinis and like, it was a very beach vibe. I loved it. I didn't have any problems with the number of beds. And the bathroom was private, but it was like a gym's bathroom, like the gym. There were stalls, cabines for the toilets, like five stalls for toilets and five stalls for showers. Great, because you didn't have to wait for anyone to take your shower or to use the toilet. I really liked it. No problem for me. I loved this one. But I wish we had chose a better location. Paris. The hostel was really smart. Like you could do everything digitally. So it was a little more modern. The decoration was very modern. The structure was modern. I really like this because I don't really like old buildings. Uh, but there was a carpet, and the carpet didn't smell so good near the bedrooms. But in general, I loved the structure. The common area was really cute. Like you could see that people work there. They bring their laptops and they work there. There were vending machines, laundry rooms. Like it was a very complete structure. I really liked the Paris one. The location was great too. It was maybe like a little further from the station, but the neighborhood was great. There were so many restaurants there, and we had contact with many different cultures because of the restaurants. It was very nice to eat some different food, and near drug stores, the it was a very busy area, so not dangerous at all. We felt very safe. I loved the Paris one too. And we chose a room with only six beds, so that was great. The bathroom structure inside the bedroom, you had one door for the shower and one door for the toilet, so yeah, it was fine. But people can hear you inside the bedroom, so it was a little strange. But it was fine. The room was very empty. There were only two other girls besides us. And oh my God, there was a girl that she was snoring, like roncando. She was snoring like an animal. I'm not kidding. It was a crazy experience to hear that girl snoring all night like a wild animal. I'm not kidding. She was suffocating from how much she was snoring. It it was, I don't know. It was like a hallucination. Like it didn't feel real. I took a long time to sleep. It was a terrible night. And she was snoring like an animal, so loud, you couldn't hear your own thoughts. You have no idea. It was crazy. And this is something that could happen in a hostel. Okay, so you need to be ready for these experiences. Make sure you bring earplugs to so you don't need to hear this kind of stuff. Oh my God, it was insane. The bed on this hostel was my favorite, and because there were curtains, it was bunk beds, but there were curtains, and there were many places to hang clothes, like pendurar in your bed area. There were some places to hang your clothes, some little shelves like prateleirinhas to put your cell phone, to put your products. There was a mirror for every bed. You had a little mirror. It was great to put makeup on, to style your hair. They had great lighting to put makeup on, so it was amazing. And a lot of these hostels, actually, I think all of them have outlets like tomadas. so near your bed. But the hostels with bunk beds and curtains were my favorite because you can close the curtain and then you have a little bedroom for yourself. Outlets, tomadas, shelves, prateleiras, things to hang your clothes, and it's just so comfy. And the Paris one had a little mirror just for you, great lighting. I loved it. I loved it. Oh, and there's something that I forgot to say. All these rooms, they have lockers, or closets. Lockers, são aqueles mais estilo escola, com senha, right? Locker. Or closets, normal closets, and you need to put a lock for you. Leve um cadeado. If you're staying in hostels, leve um cadeado. You need to have one so you can lock your stuff inside. Um, and the hostel in Paris, the lock was smart, and you could create your own password to open your locker and to close it. So I think it was really good. I felt really safe. I loved it. I love the structure of this one. And the last one was Lisbon. We got a private room because it was a room with three beds and we were three people with a private bathroom. It was perfect. It was literally like a hotel, a bedroom and a bathroom only for ourselves. AC, all of them had AC, okay? Air conditioning. The only one that didn't was the one in Rome. And the Lisbon one, the last one, was really like a hotel. Perfect experience because we could sleep very well. It was intentional. Like we wanted the last one to be very comfortable because we would be very tired. And it was great because we only slept in Lisbon. Literally, we were only sleeping all day long. And great location too. There were so many restaurants, so many good restaurants around it, grocery store. So I loved the one in Lisbon because it felt like a hotel. It was so comfortable, but we didn't have contact with anyone. So using like booking a shared bedroom, it's a good idea because you can meet other people. And we couldn't do that in Lisbon, but it's fine because we had great experiences in the other ones. So yeah, tell me something. Did this convince you? Did this episode convince you that hostels are not a terrible idea? I hope it did. And I just wish people trusted this experience a little more because if you're traveling to another country, I really think hostels are a better option than Airbnbs and hotels because of all of that. And the experience you get of meeting new people, talking to other people, practicing your English. It's great. It's great. I really loved it, and I'm excited to try this again when I travel abroad again. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions and let me know. Did I change your opinion about hostels? I'm curious. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.